Hello, and welcome to this week's podcast episode where I am going to be talking to you all about dealing with uncertainty. And I talk to my clients a lot about this. And so I wanted to, and I'm going through a little bit of a period of uncertainty right this week, actually. So I'm going to share that with you and then some tips on how to actually overcome it. Because here's the thing. Our human brain does not like uncertainty. It likes to know, it likes to know what's going to happen. And so much so that if it doesn't know what's going to happen in the future, talking specifically about the future, right? Because the past is gone. We have the present moment. We know what's happening now. So uncertainty is only ever in the future. But looking at the future and your brain, because it likes to be certain, it gives us a story. It kind of tells us an outcome of what might happen because that gorgeous part of our primitive brain is negative. Most of the time, the story that our brain tells us about what might happen in the future, lo and behold, is negative. So that's just really good to understand, especially if you are someone who gets quite anxious about the future, especially if your brain gives you anxiety producing thoughts, then this episode is really going to help you. So, first of all, having the understanding that our brain likes certainty and the way that it creates certainty is to generate a story. And it is exactly that, it's a story. And because your primitive brain is negative, most of the time that story is negative. And I think the easiest way to handle something that may or may not happen in the future is with a really simple sentence. And that is, I can handle it. I can handle it. Because if you think you can handle any situation, it doesn't matter then what happens in the future because you do know you can handle it. So that's how you create certainty for yourself at a time when you actually don't know what's going to happen in the future. And by the way, never ever do we. The positive and the negative. We never ever know what is going to happen in the future. So, of course, our brain is going to freak out about that. The way that we create certainty is to tell ourselves, I can handle it. And I got this from Susan Jeffers' book, Feel the Fear and Do It Anyway. She talks a lot about self-doubt and fear. Obviously, the book is labeled on it. And it all really boils down to it. If something bad happens, I won't be able to handle it. And so for me, when I think about the future, if I think of the worst, so there's a couple of things, especially sort of with my business, growing my business, investing in my own coach, learning the skills of making money, of selling, of marketing. I don't know how much income I'm going to make in the future. My brain goes to the worst case scenario and it tells me, I'm not going to be able to pay my mortgage. I'm not going to be able to pay my bills. We're going to be desolate. We're going to be living on the streets. We're going to die. So, this is what my brain goes to. And because I don't know what's going to happen in the future, but what I do know based on the past is money always comes in. Money always flows to us. Money comes in and money comes out. And I've got evidence to prove that every time more money comes in and more money goes out and more money comes in and more money goes out and more money comes in. So I have no factual evidence at all to prove that I'm going to not ever have any money. I've got no evidence. My brain has zero evidence to base that on. It has lots of evidence to disprove that, but your brain doesn't focus on that because remember, it's negative. The other, so the way I overcome it is like, I can handle it. I know that if it comes to a point in my business where I don't make money, I know I will handle it, whether that looks like going out and getting a job, whether that looks like asking to borrow money, getting a loan. I will handle it. I will figure it out. There has never been a time in my life where I haven't. So that's how I create certainty and safety for myself now, even though my brain is freaking out about what it's perceiving to be in the future. And I think it's really important to note that your thoughts become your reality. What you think, that story that you tell yourself, can become your reality. Now, you don't have control over anybody else's reality. So if your brain is particularly negative and particularly into the self, um, the negative self, then don't think that you're going to necessarily then manifest really negative things in your life or in someone else's life. But research has proven that a positive mindset creates a positive outcome. So positive thinking creates positive results. And a positive thought with gratitude and a positive vibration is so much a higher energetic to put out into the world. I'm not really going to go into the in-depth of energy and manifestation, not in this episode, maybe in a future one. I'm learning all about it myself at the moment. But just having that understanding that, of course, your brain is going to give you the worst case scenario. And even if the worst case scenario were to happen, you could actually handle it. You could handle it. Even if handling it looks like rocking in the corner with snot bubbles, you would handle it. Um, Now, another thing that's happening to me this week, particularly when I'm recording this podcast episode, is it's my birthday at the weekend. And this year, my husband has organized for us and the boys to go away. I have no idea where we're going. I have no idea where we're going. I have no idea what we're doing. And I can't decide if this is brilliant or whether this is terrible because I'm like, well, do I pack for posh resort or do I pack for camping? Do you want me to get food or do I not get food? Like, because normally when we go camping or when we go on holiday as a family, I do quite a lot of the planning. I'm making sure that we've all got snacks and we've all got food and that everybody's things are washed beforehand. And I have no idea what we're doing. So I did say to my husband, can you at least give me some indication on what I need to pack? Like, are we camping or are we resorting? Because they're two very different sets of clothes, in my opinion. And he said, no, I will tell you, we are camping. So I know we're camping. So that's one thing. Everything else we're doing, I have no idea about. And so my brain is very uncertain about this weekend. And of course, it's going to give me, what if I don't like what we're doing? What if it's going to be terrible? What? We start what ifing. We start what ifing, and that's totally normal. But what I love, what I love about the power of learning how to manage your mind and the power of the work that I do is I know I have a choice. I know I have a choice. And I am choosing to see this weekend as a really beautiful gesture and a really beautiful, thoughtful thing. Because in the past, my husband would have checked beforehand. He didn't really have necessarily the self-confidence. He would have checked and I would have said, oh, that would have been nice. And then he would have gone, oh, I should have done it as a surprise. Whereas this year, he's gone, no, I've got an idea. I'm going to do it as a surprise. And if you don't like it, I'll learn. So this has been a learning curve for both of us. And for me, especially, I've had to take that step back. I've had to release the reins. And my brain has found this to be quite challenging, it would appear. Because I usually know. I know how far we're traveling. I know how long it's going to take. I know the direction. I know what snacks, yeah, etc., etc., etc. So knowing that I can handle it, knowing that whatever we end up doing this weekend, I can handle it, instantly calms everything down. And then when you add to that, I have a choice. I think that is the most powerful sentence you can ever tell yourself. I have a choice. I have a choice. We could get there. He might have arranged something that I really hate. I doubt it because he knows me pretty well. But even if I don't like it, I still get to choose how I perceive this gesture. I actually have a choice. And so when I tell myself I have a choice, now I'm certain. Now I've taken my control back. Now I know that whatever happens, I can handle it because I've got a choice. And that choice sometimes won't be to be positive. When the negative things do happen to us, when the shit things do happen in life, which they do, unfortunately, you might not choose to feel positive, but you can choose to handle it in whatever way, shape, or form that looks like for you at that time. So, this is how you deal with uncertainty. You deal with it, first of all, by acknowledging what your brain's telling you, acknowledging that it's a story, acknowledging that it's not a fact. And you breathe and you understand, of course, it wants certainty. It's always looking out for danger. Of course, it's going to be negative. And then see you choose. You choose to remind yourself, I can handle it. You choose to remind yourself that you have a choice. And those two things combined in any circumstance actually are so very powerful. So that's how you deal with uncertainty. And it's really simple. But that breath, comforting your central nervous system, reminding yourself that you're safe, you can handle it. And if you're listening to this and you really don't feel like you can handle it, then it might be that you need to explore some sort of therapy, counseling, solution focused hypnotherapy, perhaps if you're incredibly anxious. Um, there are things out there that can help you deal with anxiety or deal with the fear of uncertainty. But if you're kind of thinking, well, I don't really need therapy and I like to be in control, like I like to be conscious about my decisions, then life coaching might help you. And if you want to explore it, then let's hop on a call and have a conversation. So I hope this has helped this week. Send me good vibes for the weekend because I have no idea what's happening. And I will speak to you all again next week. Bye.